expecting twins, what would the doctor say? Cesarean, okay. Very few doctors would actually give the option for a vaginal delivery. Ryan is a twin, right?
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's a twin himself. So what's it like being a twin for the twins?
It's fun. It's harder as a parent than it was as a kid.
I like that.
Yeah, he always said he wanted twins, and now he's like, oh my gosh, they're so hard. But they're very fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. What does your mom say about you?
Mom's a delusional liar.
His mom has forgotten everything. She's like, they slept through the night at 3 weeks. It was so easy. We're like, please shut up. Yeah. I think you have to forget.
Is anyone expecting twins that wants to share that?
Anyone expecting twins? No,
Right.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what made you guys want to have a twin vaginal delivery?
I just didn't like that people were telling us right off the bat what we had, the birth had to be a C-section. Like the doctor we were with, he at 20 weeks, he was like, well, we should schedule your C-section in. And I was like, why? Like I just knew that the babies were still moving. And from everything I had heard from, friends in other countries, unless there was a reason with their position or them both being breached or the baby being in distress, I just felt like at 20 weeks, how could you know that I couldn't do it? So I didn't like that people weren't letting me try. And I'm very stubborn, so like if somebody told me I can't do something, I'm like, I will show you.
That's not stubborn, that's rebel.
Yeah. So I think just like the fact that I was like, well, that's not right that you're just telling us what we have to do. And like C-section, everything I had heard, it's a really major surgery and it's like a serious recovery. And I just figured trying to care for 2 infants while you're trying to heal yourself, even without major surgery, it just seemed like didn't make sense to me. So I just wanted to try.
And how would you describe? She's like, yes, thumbs up.
That's like how she came out. It's true.
How would you describe the whole birth experience now that you've done it?
It was hard, but I felt like we were really supported through you and Chujin. Having you guys there allowed Ryan to take rests. I mean, my labor we had 30 hours. I mean, it was long, but it ended in a vaginal delivery for both of them, and it was drug-free for 26 of those hours. So I felt it was really successful, and we walked away from it feeling really good about how they were born and how they came into the world. So. And I remember at one point, a nurse, there was a shift change, and a nurse came in and kind of turned on the lights and was trying to hook me up to all these things. And it was just helpful that we had our plan in place, and we had you guys, and we had Ryan, who just were like, no, she doesn't need to be monitored. She was monitored X number of hours ago. So it just felt like there were other people there to advocate for what we had already decided. And so I was able to just kind of go into that zone for hours at a time, literally hours at a time. And the only time I came out of it was when I got the checks to see how labor was progressing. So honestly, if you can get less frequent of those, it's even better. Because mine were every 5 hours. So during those 5 hours, I don't even really remember what was happening.
Yeah. And one of the things that parents always ask me, right, is what do you describe as a good birth experience, or why is it important? And whilst I see a lot of births, I always say, at the end of the day, you have to ask the parents, what do they define as good? What do they define as why was it important for them? So, Lucinda is saying that, I felt like it was good. I had a good try and whatever it is, but why was that important? How did you make... on hindsight now, looking back to where you are now, right? How did that affect everything? Go for it.
Class 3 that Jenny talked about, I feel like is really important, and that's when you you think about the flow of what's going to happen. And I think it's really important through this that you don't prescribe exactly what's going to happen. You don't go in saying we're having a natural childbirth. you talk about how do you want it to feel? What do you want your mood to be? And like that, what's the type of decision? What are the values behind the decisions that you want to make as you're going through it? Because you, especially the partners out there, are going to have to make a lot of decisions, and you want to think about like what were your criteria before those decisions come up. And that's what Class 3 is a lot about. And it was important for us. Like, we Lucinda alluded to, we had a really long labor. We had a difficult time. Rosie was first, and her head was not centered on the cervix, which caused some issues and delayed things a lot. So, at some point, Jenny and I were looking at a phone screen with the words epidural on it.
He typed it in. He didn't want to say anything.
We type a lot to the dad so the wives can't hear what's happening during labor.
And I knew, we had talked about our what we wanted was not necessarily a natural birth. It was a natural experience. It was this idea that Jenny talks about where if you have endorphins, if you have happiness and calmness, and you produce endorphins, and it produces relaxation, and we wanted that, instead of the tension and oxytocin and in that cycle. And so, what exactly happens when you're in that mood isn't, to me, as important as the mood itself. And I think, when you have that mood, you're going to have good things happen. But if bad things happen, you're still in that mood. So I thought that was really helpful for us.
Well, and also the second, so just even being able, like Ginny would say several times, just visualize, visualize actually giving birth to both of the babies, see that happening. Visualize them both being head down, see that happen. And we would practice our hypnobirthing every night, we would do our meditation our exercises every night. And that's really helpful too, because your partner might say something in a tone that's super annoying to you when you're in labor, and it's better that you identify that tone a month out and be like, I don't like that voice. And they're like, okay, I will practice another voice. Or she was like, try light touch massage, and I was like, I hate light touch massage. So he didn't do light touch massage in the labor. So just figuring that stuff out so that you're not pulled out of that sort of dreamy state.
So by the time you already go into labor with her, you already know what you want and how she wants it, what you can do. And this is where I say you learn how to labor smart and not labor hard. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to be figuring out, you're not touching me correctly, stop it, don't, You don't want to be feeling that way during labor. And everything that you do or you're planning to use during labor, you have to start using it during pregnancy.
Yeah, I had my little iPod shuffle with all my music, I had already picked it out. And I would do my practice hypnobirthing with that music. And I had already decided what visualization I was going to use in contractions, and I used them during my Braxton Hicks. So it's just helpful to train your brain the way you would train for a marathon.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's positive for us, because we felt the mood and just the general kind of our feeling, we didn't feel like anyone forced decisions on us. We felt like we were in control and we were able to make decisions.
Say, that's not right. I'm the one in control. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask? Go for it.
Because most of the birth plan was discussed before the delivery itself, right? Mm-hmm. Was there any point in time during the delivery whereby the medical institution gave pressure on you guys to stray away from what you guys had planned? And how did you cope with such a...
I don't really know. I mean, and I think that's good.
When women are laboring, they don't know all this is happening because he was very on board.
Yeah.
Now, if he wasn't on board, then she would have known.
Yeah.
But because he was very on board, she didn't realize all this was happening. She was in what we call la la land, labor land. Okay.
And the answer is no. I mean, first of all, you have Dr. Lai is great and very supportive, and because we delivered at Glen Eagles, where Dr. Lai delivers a lot, the nurses know him there, and they sort of know how he works, and
they know Ginny.
And they know Ginny and her team. So I didn't feel any of that pressure. You know, like you can't be a patsy. You know, like for instance, like when the lights come on, you say like let's keep them off, or so you have to sort of know your plan, know where it's flexible and know where it's not. That plan really it's for you. It's you share it with Dr. Lai or whoever your doctor is. You give it to the team there, but really it's for you. So you know what what road you want to go down, what your decisions, the different forks of the decision tree are. But then I felt Glen Eagles and Dr. Lai were super supportive.
Yeah. I think that the doula and the doctor choice are maybe the most important thing you can choose, because they're. Oh no, go ahead.
No, please finish.
I just feel like if the medical staff already kind of knows there's a certain reputation with those people that are on your birth team, like they kind of leave you alone. And Ginny even said that in the class. She was like, there's certain doctors in Singapore where they see it and they're just like, oh, okay.
In some ways, choosing the doctor is choosing your birth plan.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Or
That is a great point. Yeah.
Because I'm the only I know a lot of twin moms. I know 9 in my condo, and I know
that's a
4
lot.
outside of my condo. I know
Twin,
a lot
yes,
of
nice.
twin moms, and I'm the only person I know of who has given birth vaginally.
Wow.
So, but I'm also the only one I know of who went to Dr. Lai. Charmaine,
My question is, during the 30-hour labor, was there any point where you were asked or felt, somewhat pressured to cut short that labor? Just because I
Just
When you
so
say
much
cut short, as to like go for
intervention,
C-section or
intervention,
okay.
speed it up somehow.
No, there was one point in the second delivery where he was sort of in distress. And again, like the team that you have is so important, and the environment that you create through your birth plan and through your own sort of mental training is so important, because they sort of shielded Ryan. Like literally, Chujin stood in front of
I remember
Ryan.
it was
So
very conspicuous.
He had no idea. He was like, something just happened. I don't really know what. So they kept the room really calm for us. So we had no idea like what amount of
And that was part of our
distress he was
plan. Like
in.
when the first one was born, they had a quick
Skin to
skin with her. But then when the other one was ready, like I got Rosie was first. I got her, and I did skin to skin, and that was the plan. I would focus on her, and the doulas would stay with Lucinda, and Lucinda was no longer my immediate concern, which is.
And that was our plan.
Yeah, and that was all planned out before,
Yeah.
because we discussed these things. Now we usually have one doula at a birth, and if it gets, for them we had 2. Because there's 2
babies.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
But I didn't feel pressured. The only thing, Dr. Lai, like in the calm, if you met him, he has this really calm way of talking. And at one point he just said, okay, Lucinda, you have 2 more tries, and then we're going to help. And that's all he said. And I turned to Ginny and was like, what does he mean help? she said he's going to use a vacuum. And the class is so important, because all of the interventions you talk through, and you feel the vacuum on your leg, you feel how strong the pressure is. And I like remembered that feeling, and I was like, no fucking way. I was like, ah! And I like pushed him out in one push. So that's the only time, but I don't feel like he pressured me. He just kind of was like being realistic with me, like things are about to not be okay. So like you need to either get him out or we have to help him out.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
I have a question, because I guess towards the end of the pregnancy you get asked a lot, like when are they going to be
Oh my
born,
gosh.
when do you have to C-section?
Yeah.
So did you guys do like a little bit of community education? Or just like
Yeah, a lot. We went 39 weeks.
I delivered at 39
and
weeks,
for twins, like they say, 38 weeks is 40 weeks. For a
Yeah.
36.
36
Estimated due date is based on 40, but you reach full term at 37. If it's twins, you reach full term at 35. Your estimated due date is actually 38 weeks. Okay, so she went over to 39. So most doctors would have cut the women up already by then. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, I was so uncomfortable, and I just wanted to not be pregnant anymore. But like, Dr. Lai was just like, every time we saw him, he was just kind of like, okay, well, we'll do the membrane sweep, and I'll see you on this day. And he just never pressured. He was he was just like, you know, this is what your plan says. Like, we're just gonna go through those steps. And he kept being like, I'll see you next time, if not sooner.
You don't stay pregnant forever.
At like 30, was it 34 weeks? 33 weeks. He said to us, I think I can get you to 34 and probably 35, but I don't think you'll see 36 weeks. But he's super flexible. You know, when we came in, you know, in the subsequent weeks, he's like, no, I think we're fine.
Everything's fine. See you next week.
See you when I see you.
And then like Ginny went away and came back, and then he went away and came back. Like we had like all of these backup plans that never happened.
A pediatrician.
Any other questions? No, we're good. Thank you very much. Anything you want to say to them as parting words?
Get some sleep.
Yeah, sleep. Get some sleep and go out on dates.
Yes, that's really important. Okay.
And give your babies lots of kisses.